Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 557 for October 11, 2023. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Josh, KI6NAZ, and this is probably the most action-packed, or at least ham radio-packed, like spam in a can, we are this episode of Ham Nation. There is so much we got going on, so we got to go right to the host to say hi to everybody. And welcome back, Amanda. Oh, wow. Excellent.
Hey.
And we also got Valerie, getting the whole original crew back together. Valerie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, it's going to be like how many clowns can fit in the clown car tonight, I think, right?
Indeed.
So I'm glad to be back. If I look a little tired, I was up to 3 to 5 in the morning this morning. I actually got Swains on 160, 80, and 40 by remoting into our antennas back at home in Illinois. But I'm in Florida now. But we're going to have those guys on the show live from Swains Island. So make sure you stick around. Back to you, Josh.
Excellent. Very good. And we got Gordo. How you doing, Gordo?
We're doing fine, and we can't wait next week for Pacificon.
Yeah, very excited about that. So stay tuned. Gordo's going to talk a little bit about that. And Don, how you doing on this fine day?
Frazzled, but as always, but doing well. Last-second computer issues and getting the Scove video produced for you. We've got news, solar update, hot off the press, of course. Couple of things to make note of. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You'll see the ribbon over my shoulder. And over there, it's a birthday girl. Today is Amanda's birthday.
Indeed.
So happy birthday.
All right. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Amanda.
Very disappointed that you didn't sing it like, Marilyn Monroe did.
Someone may be carrying this over a repeater, and we really shouldn't have music on there.
Oh, well, if we're singing it, right?
Plus,
that's right. You can't. No.
Plus, no one really wants to hear me sing.
There's
True.
that, unless you've had about 3 scotches in you. And
no, not yet.
I think I need 3 scotches in me to listen to Dawn sing personally.
So there's that.
But how have you been, Amanda?
I've been taking a break from Ham Nation, of course, everybody. And my dad has been really, really ill. And he's suffering from stage 4 liver cancer. And he's gone on to home hospice care. And that's why I took a step away. From my section manager position as well. And I said I was going to spend every moment with him. But he's been getting some treatments that have actually made him feel a little bit better. So
Good.
I know. Isn't that a miracle? So he came over tonight for my birthday dinner. We had takeout from our best burger joint, which was really fun. And he actually ate, which he hasn't eaten in about 2 months. So only Ensures is what he's been drinking. So he had some fried chicken strips, and we didn't get to the birthday cake because we were all so full. So anyhow, it was really fun visiting with him. And he is... I shouldn't say getting extremely better, but he is in a better place than he was 2 months ago. So I couldn't be more grateful for that. So he encouraged me. He said, you need to, get back to your folks and get back to your friends and do your ham radio stuff because it's important to you and it's important to me that you succeed. So that's what I'm doing. So thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. It's really sweet.
Good for you and good for him.
Hey, y'all, it made me teary-eyed. So we have a full slate, as Josh had already stated. We're going to be talking about the Eclipse solar party coming up this weekend. We're going to be talking about JOTA, Jamboree On The Air, and, of course, the DXEpedition in Swains. Hopefully everybody's already gotten them on FT8 or CW. I have not yet, but I can't wait to hear from everybody. So with that, stick around. I'll be watching the chat room. So will Josh. And I'm going to send it over to Valerie and Adrian out there in Swains Island. Take it away, Val.
Thanks. And Adrian, I think you're muted. And I also have another special guest joining us too.
Woohoo.
Adrian brought a friend, so I'm going to bring a friend. So Adrian, welcome. And I see you got Gerben, Papa Golf 5 Mexico with you, right? Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us live from Swains. This is so cool. I love Starlink. Right? That's what you're using?
Yes. Hello from the middle of the Pacific, from the Swains Island. again, thanks to Starling, an amazing piece of machinery, an expensive way of bringing live images from faraway corners of the world, like this uninhabited island in the middle of nowhere, part of the American Samoa.
Well, you guys sound great here. I was able to get you on 160, which is saying a lot. I didn't get these guys when they were there. For those of you who don't know, Jerry went to Swains 2012, so it's been a while. Pretty much a solar cycle ago, right? So how is it there? I mean, what do you think of Swains? What's the temperature, things like that? Is it brutal?
Well, the pile-ups are amazing, but the temperatures are unbearable. There's a joke among us that if we drop an egg, by the time it hits the ground, it's already an omelet. So it's really, really, really hot and humid. From time to time, we get some showers, and they cool you off. But not even 5 minutes later, it is as if it never happened. So we're coping with it, and at the beginning when we had to install the antennas, it was quite a challenge. Obviously, working at these temperatures, and you have to put a lot of effort to put everything in the air. But now we're done with the antenna installation, and things started to be a bit easier. We've got an hour schedule with the operating, and we don't have to stay outside if we don't have to. Although, even in our operating tent is not really air conditioning place.
Yeah. Well, how many Qs do you guys have in the log so far, roughly?
We just crossed this morning 45,000.
Very nice.
Nice job.
Good
Congratulations.
job.
Wow.
Very good.
And so you have 6 on-island operators?
No, we're 10 operators
10.
in total. Well, we do have 6 stations plus a separate one, a 7th one for EME, and we are operating all modes. CW, SSB, a lot of FT8. We have some diehard READY operators in the team, so they did some READY as well, and we're active on 6 meters. It's been a struggle to get the EME working, but we're not giving up. And of course, yesterday we got the 160 meter antenna on the air, and already we have 500 lucky ones in the log and 160. Among those, you, Valerie, as well.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good get. I know when Jerry went there, you guys had, they had trouble getting the antennas up. You have to work and get everything up before like 10 a.m. because it's
by
just
11
so hot.
o'clock it was too hot to be out in the sun. So what is the heat? What's the maximum temperature you have measured so far? Like 117, 120?
Well, the thermometer here showed 3940 the other day, so I think that's well over 100. Haven't calculated, I guess.
Wow.
It is hot. It's unbearably hot, and combined with the humidity, it really makes it unbearable. Now what we do is either do the work in the morning or in the evening if we have to. But again, we just have to fix things from time to time.
And
unfortunately,
whose equipment are you using? What radios are you using?
we are using K3s, Aircraft. So
Okay.
our setup was that we have all identical radios and amplifiers for the sake of easy exchanging in case of problems or whatever, and also from a cabling point of view. So we use the K3s modified or K3S and SPE amplifiers. And for 6 meters, we're using an RF kit, which will provide us a little bit more output power.
And have you guys found anything challenging or something you weren't anticipating at all yet?
Yeah, especially the heat.
Well, getting on the island was a challenge, and that day was actually raining, and I was complaining, obviously, to myself that okay, the day we land and it's raining, and I didn't realize that was actually a blessing, because at least from that point of view, made it easier, because getting on the island is certainly not an easy thing. Luckily, the Jennings family, which owns the island, they took care of the logistics of getting us on the island, because we're mostly city boys. We know about radios and stuff, but not how to deal with with getting on these uninhabited islands.
Well, I know you guys got
But the
there a
good
little
thing is
late,
that-
so are you going to be staying a little later, or when are you guys leaving?
No, she was asking that. Yeah, we got late 2 days. 2 days late, but we will be leaving at the same time because of the way the schedule for the boats is arranged and the flights and all that. So we're just going to make unfortunately, our trip a bit shorter. But 2 days is not really that much. So we figured we can push it a bit more, especially the upcoming weekend. We're planning to be full force on all the radios and around the clock.
Couple questions. Who's the team doctor? And tell the listeners, the viewers, how bad the insects are.
Well, that varies a lot. One of my Dutch teammates, who is sleeping next to me, we all had arranged that we have a small mosquito tent. It's the size of a air mattress, so that you can be covered from the insects. The guy next to me, he has red spots all over the place, and really suffering from it. Even if he's operating, he's using gloves. He has a hat and it has a head net, and then still he got bitten by the mosquitoes. Strange thing is that I'm sitting next to him. I have no problem with the mosquitoes at all. I'm sleeping on my air mattress without a mosquito net or whatever. So some people have no problem at all. Other people are really suffering from the mosquitoes. And next to that, the heat is also not helping in that case.
And what are
Well,
you eating?
this island
What do you
is
guys
not
eat?
inhabited, and I think all the mosquitoes talk to each other, and they are all gathering together in our camps here, because this
Yeah.
is a once in a lifetime opportunity for
Fresh
them.
blood.
Fresh blood. And I think
And
you're
Amanda-
asking about our doctor. His
Yeah.
name is Reiner. He's from Germany. We're really hoping not to use his services, and so far he's just advising us to drink a lot of water, or liquids, I should say, and we're doing just that.
So what's a typical meal on Swains? What are they cooking for you over there?
Should we tell the truth or just to go with
Lobster?
The truth. The truth.
We heard from the guys who were on previous expeditions that the service that we get from Alex Jennings' team was great, and the food was great. We can only confirm that. I mean, today we have sushimi on the menu. They catch the big tuna fish today. Every day there's something else, a very big variety. Anytime you show up in the base camp, the ladies come to you. What do you want to drink? Juice, coffee, tea?
Oh my
Do
goodness.
you want to have snacks?
Yeah,
It-
5-star
it's
service.
five
Wow.
stars. It's really, and
Wow.
that makes it for us also a little bit easier, because, if we also should care about how we get our food and so on, that would be a nightmare. So
Yeah.
the service that we get from them is great, and also the technical team is also assisting us a lot. And after one day that we had to walk from the base camp to our red and blue camp, each is 400 meters. So if you have duty on the blue team, you have to go for about 800 meters. That's a nightmare, because when you arrive at the tent, you're completely soaked from sweat. So we asked if they could set up a shuttle service, and now every duty change, then the ATV is ready to bring 2 people quickly to the camp. So that's a big relief.
Adrian, I
For
do
us.
have another
So-
question for you.
Okay.
First of all, DXEpeditions are not cheap, and you don't do this for free. You all are
Okay.
out of pocket. So how can
Okay.
people help supply you with money
Well,
to make sure you get reimbursed
we're-
for this, or?
The rule is the operators pay half of the cost, and the other half is paid by the community at large. That's made up of organizations and clubs and just regular hams that feel excited and say, "I'll give these guys $5 to get there and give me a few new bands or all-time new one or whatever." And our budget for this particular DXEpedition was $125,000, and we almost achieved that budget. And so that's great. I guess we're nice guys, and people saw that, and they
That's
supported
great.
us.
But
And look at us.
you do have a send money.
They do,
button
and
on
Josh
your-
too,
on
if
your
you want to go to
website.
the QSL information on that website there, if you
go.
click that tab at the top, if you do donate money, you will get QSLs a little bit, there it is, yeah, the QSL
Faster.
policy, it kind of has a policy there, if you want to get your LOTW, you know, and you can get them faster by helping to donate and things like that too, so, and it really helps them a lot.
It does.
Like you said, it's not cheap.
Well, yeah, most of the money, generally not necessarily this one, but generally in the expedition is spent on transportation. Those DXEpedition that require a boat, such as this one in Swains, especially a boat that doesn't normally go here, meaning being an uninhabited island, somebody has to actually drive the boat to bring you here, all the tons of equipment that you have. That includes, radios and food and water and everything, fuel, generators and so forth. So the expenses of such a boat are significant. They're usually close to 3/4 of the budget.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
so although the
And can you see
family,
Brett's question there? Can you see, Brett wanted Whiskey Yankee 7 Bravo Golf. He wanted to know, why did you pick this time of year to go? Well, I know you're at the equator, so it's the same temperature year round. It's wet season, dry season, so weather has no concern.
Well,
but is there a reason you
no.
picked now?
November would have been better, but November is the start of the hurricane season.
Yeah.
So already the weather plays an important factor when it comes to getting on these islands. And so we've been delayed 2 days because of the weather. So the scheduling of the boat got a little bit, hectic. And so that's why we arrived here 2 days later. And so you want to avoid the wrong season, the hurricane season, but you don't want to go in the middle of the hot season because it's already unbearable hot. So if you get a few showers, it's still good. Also, you're depending on the organizers, the Jennings family that has to organize it for you. They have to match things in such a way that the boat is available. So it's a complex thing. We've been negotiating with them for almost 7 years. And then, of course, we had 2 years of that time because of COVID, and we had to postpone. There was also a measles outbreak in American Samoa. And on 1 year, the boat also had some issues,
Damage, yeah.
some technical issues. So, putting these things together, it's a bit more complicated than calling a travel agent. And
I was
telling them
I
that
was
you
going to
wanna go
ask
to
about that. What routes did you have to go through to get permission to go to Swains?
Well,
You arrange that with the Jennings family. Alex Jennings
Okay.
is the caretaker of the island, and that is by vote from the Jennings relatives. So you need his permission to go there, and he is also he's in Parliament here.
Yeah.
So he has to negotiate with the governor, because the boat that we have used now is a government-owned boat, and the main purpose is that they provide supplies to the surrounding islands, which is of high importance. So it is not that easy to say, I just schedule that boat. So he has to negotiate with the governor to make that boat available. And there are always emergency situations that can
Sure.
cross our schedule, and that happened also this time. And the fact is, normally we would go from American Samoa straight to Swains Island. That could take 22 hours. This time we had to compromise and had a lot of negotiations because of the delay that was imposed on us. And the final result was that we went first to Manau, and then to Oval, and then to Swains in the whole the whole journey took more than 30 hours in this case. So,
Wow.
but it is not just that we say this is our preferred schedule. Of course, we have always said it should be in springtime or in later in the year, but we are depending fully on what's available and how the government will support us in this case.
Wow. Well, it's fantastic. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for everything that you're doing. We really appreciate it, and we love to hear you on the airwaves. So we can't wait to get you on the logs. So, Val, I'll let you wrap it up here.
Yeah, and I know when Jerry and his team came back, how many guys went right to the emergency room when they got home. So I hope you guys stay away from getting bit by all the stuff. They all had different things oozing out of different parts of their body. And, he stumped his dermatologist. So,
she had never seen
whatever he had. So
yeah, it was bad.
Guys, stay safe. Hopefully you guys make it
The
back
plan
okay.
is to, when I live here, is to go straight to the first ice cream parlor and have a lot of ice cream. I don't know about the dermatologist. They have to wait.
Well, stay safe,
Well,
and hope to work you on 30 and maybe 6.
And maybe 6, especially 6.
Working hard
All right,
on that.
thank you for
Well,
joining
thank you for
us
having
live,
us. And 73 from Swains Island, a little paradise.
thanks.
Good luck. Be careful.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Over to you, Amanda.
Oh.
Back to me.
What happened? I thought
Um,
Amanda was next. Amanda
yeah.
is next. So
Did any of you guys try to get Swains?
I am hearing them on 10. So I started looking for them right before the show, and I hear them on 10 meter. CW, it's a little fast for me. Actually, I take that back. It's
they go
considerably faster than I could go.
Yeah.
But I'm not even pointing my beam at them, and I'm hearing them on their transmit frequency. So that's pretty good. From the little bit I could pick out, that sounds like they're doing pretty well out there.
Yeah. I know it was brutal for him. And the boat that these guys had to use was so rusty. And there were rats and cockroaches. It was just an awful boat.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God they have a new boat now that these guys were using. So
Thank God it was only 24 hours.
But one of their members, and when Jerry went on the DXEpedition, actually had a bad reaction to the scalamine, or whatever you call that.
I got bit by a spider.
Oh,
and its leg
No, that couldn't even get on the island. On the boat.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even, he spent all this money to go on this DXEpedition, and he couldn't go on the island because he had some kind of bad reaction and
To this scopolamine patch.
scopolamine, that's it.
Yeah.
And
It went
but
nuts.
but I would say more than half the crew came back with something wrong with them, and they went to emergency rooms and things like that. So anyway, that was a good interview. I'm glad we got
That
Adrian,
was
and
fantastic,
I'm glad to be
live.
back on the show. So
Very
I'm going to hand it over to Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda, take it away.
Oh, well, thank you. Actually, we're going to hand it over to Gordo, who's going to talk about where he's going to be here real soon in Pacificon. So, Gordo, nice to see you again.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Amanda, and good to see you. And Valerie, great to have you back with your team. And Josh, let's jump right into taking a trip up north to Pacificon. Pacificon is one of Central California's largest ham radio convention, probably number 2 along the West Coast. And Pacificon is put together by the Mount Diablo Amateur Radio Club. And on Friday, now that's a week from this Friday, Friday is the big antenna seminar, and let me tell you, that room, hundreds plus of hams are packed in there to see where it is. And this is held at the Marriott in San Ramon. And after the antenna seminar, we can all dream about some of the big antennas. That's Barry Goldwater's original antenna that was out here in California for many, many years. So we think all about antennas when we go to the Great Antenna Seminar. After the antenna seminar, about 4 in the afternoon, is when everybody comes together at the big Marriott ballroom. And they've actually had a couple of rooms for Pacificon because it's swelled with so many manufacturers all wanting part. And look at this. It's always great to see kids getting involved in ham radio. And the American Radio Relay League is there in force. In fact, Steve Goodgame, K5 ATA, is going to be the banquet speaker. And the league is absolutely on target in saying ham radio is going to continue thanks to kids and thanks to volunteers that get the kids in action, soldering as well as putting together some of these fun kits. And for those of us kids on amateur television, the Amateur Television Network, we have Mount Diablo by the Mount Diablo Amateur Radio Club station on the air, and there's ATV all over the place. In fact, if you go outside, there's several command communications vehicles from the county and the city, as well as our own, make that Mount Diablo's own amateur television communications unit, and possibly we may even have another van from down here going up there, driven by Mike and Gary. So ATN, Amateur Television Network, will be big time. Rosalie has made sure that there'll be all sorts of talks about the International Space Station and the crossband repeater, as well as schools talking up to the space station. There's a picture a couple of years ago of Clint. Clint Bradford is showing off how easy it is to make contact with satellites as well as the space station on FM as well as digital modes. And of course, that next morning, bright and early, we're going to start the fun breakfast, and then I'll be getting ready for my next mission, beside meeting all of you fun folks, and I'll be working out of the ham radio outlet booth exclusively. But part of my deal on Saturday morning is the Instructors Academy. And we encourage all of you tonight to get signed up free of charge as a registered instructor with the W5YI group. And I'm going to be presenting all of the neat things that you can do for a class. Now, the W5YI group is really doubled down on keeping ham radio alive and well by offering remote testing, thanks to Alan and his team. That is where they test on Zoom, as well as test in person, as well as national radio examiners for commercial examinations. YI is no longer carrying books and tapes and audio and things like that. They're concentrating just on keeping the ham service growing with great testing opportunities, as well as getting more hams as instructors. And when we talk about teaching a ham radio class, you got to have stuff. And if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, that's a fraction of the stuff that we used to bring to all the different classes. And that keeps the students really on the edge of their seats. Every secret I know is in our free downloadable, once you are signed in at haminstructor.com, instructor guides, one for tech, one for general, as well as one for extra class. And these free guides give away every one of my secrets to keep a class roomy. And part of that is having all sorts of goodies that the hams can come up and see, and using those goodies for some of the demonstrations that these free books talk about. And yes, I will have the glowing pickle showing voltage, current, and the resistance of the pickle. We'll do Ohm's law calculations, power calculations, and we'll see what it's going to take for amps and volts to cook a couple of pickles and send a spark gap through them. Now, tonight also, when you sign up at haminstructor, all one word, .com, free of charge, you're not going to get emails coming into your box. You'll be able to get on there and get to free 1-hour audio courses that you can distribute or play for your classes, stuff of emergency comms. And
okay, I'm getting a report from Alpha Delta 5, Delta Papa, that the National Weather Service in Slidell has lost all HF radio operations. Over.
So you can get these 3 free 1-hour programs, and you actually will download them. And some of them have some really nail-biting communications between hams, as well as some fun ones, such as this one.
QC10, QC10, QC10.
He's calling QC10. Well, he was an engineer and he had QC. Well, you get the idea. He meant to send a CQ10. And finally, can you identify this sound? Take a listen. You know that sound. Aurora. So if ever you've been trying to figure out a way to bring some of these sounds live into your classroom, tonight you could actually download those as a registered instructor at hamnstructor.com. And once you get registered, you'll have access to download all of these materials that you see on the screen. And now we'll go to the next one. And
there we go.
There we go. All right. Again, what we've done is we've taken my 3 audio on the air CDs, and we've now transferred them over so you can download them and be able to play segments to your students. And as you can see, tuning into digital, learning to tune into sideband, best advice on HF radios and the sounds of HF. Again, this is all free of charge. This is patterned after my book, which, yep, we just updated the new general class book as well. Remember, instead of coming from YI, you're going to get the book through either your ham radio dealers like Ham Radio Outlet there, as well as getting it from Amazon. And notice that in the books, we've rearranged the questions in a much more logical teaching order, and we give away that secret in those instructor guides, which you download. At Pacificon, you're going to see Kevin. Kevin's the main man between the lithium iron phosphate batteries that so many hams are switching over to from lead acid or sealed lead acid batteries. And if you ever wondered what was inside to keep them regulated, they do not catch fire like lithium ion. They are lithium iron phosphate. And these batteries go and go and go. They are great. And Kevin will be there for demonstrating them in our instructor seminar. And when we talk about little radios, we've got plenty of radios, and in your classes you want to tie your radio into digital and play all of the different digital modes. And of course at the Academy we always like to bring in guests to demonstrate some of our gear. That's Martin Jew of MFJ as we are lighting up one of the tubes that he is holding. So the Instructor Academy, a fun couple hours course that'll be going on free of charge, and all of the materials I was talking about are free of charge, and we're happy to give out these certificates when I meet you weekend after next at the Marriott Hotel, where on Sunday morning, bright and early, that's when the big swap meet takes place, and it's usually a little foggy because you're just inside the Bay Area. But let me tell you, the deals are there. So I hope all of you, if you're in the California area, will come on board. But if you're not, do take advantage of all of my free materials that are available at www.hamnstructor.com. Haminstructor, one word.com. And once you get registered, they'll send you a confirmation, and then you can download all of this. In fact, you can get those 3 audio courses that used to be on CDs. Now they'll come right out of your computer. So let's take a listen and see what's happening maybe with this radio here from ICOM America.
We do have a quick question for you, actually.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's see. There's a question about, can you take your tech and general test together? And why don't you tell a little bit about that, Gordo, because that was a major part of your talk there.
Okay, now say again the exact question. What the tech in general, say again?
I think they're asking if they can take the tech in general roughly the same time, same day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they're going to be offering examinations right there at Pacificon. And yes, you can take your tech and then come back a little bit later and take your general, or take it Saturday and Sunday. And that's fine. You can accrue those licenses. Just stick with the same examination team so they hold on to your passing paperwork.
Okay. Did you have a question, Amanda, on your side? Did you see one?
No, I was just going to take over.
Okay, so I think we're going to throw to Amanda, actually, and we're going to go back and talk about Jamboree on the Air, right, Amanda?
We are. We're going to talk about Jamboree on the Air. And I'd like to thank Bill Stearns for being here, K2BSA, on very, very short notice, by the way. I got word that we needed some more content tonight, and boy, did I pull through.
You over-succeeded. Beyond all expectation.
It's my first time back in a couple of months, Bill. So you're my first interviewee. But this is important to me. And chat room, first of all, I want you to give me a thumbs up in the chat room if you know what Jamboree on the Air is, if you work Jamboree on the Air, or if it got you involved in amateur radio whatsoever. So, Bill, what are you doing? And you've been doing this for 17 years now. Tell us everything you know. Take it away.
Yeah, Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet has been going on for quite a while. I believe for Jamboree on the Air, it's the 66th year that it's been going on. If I look at all the patches in our patch archive, I see that they've taken the number off the patches now, so they're not saying how many years it is, but I believe it's 66 for Jamboree on the Jamboree on the Air. But yeah, it's coming up real quick here. It's October 20th through the 22nd. It's the world's largest scouting event. It's on the air and on the internet. Scouts from all over the world. I believe 174 countries have the World Organization of Scouting Movement scout programs involved, and they'll be getting kids on the air, hopefully in all those countries. That'd be great. But for sure, they'll be on the internet, and their goal is to.
What's the difference between on the air and on the internet? The JOTA and the JOTA.
Yeah, in most cases, it's exactly the same.
Okay.
It's just the medium that you're using to produce the communication between the groups. So basically, this is an operation to allow the scouts to communicate internationally with each other through various mechanisms. On the internet, you obviously use things like we're using right now, Skype, or they'll use chat rooms like Rocket Chat, I believe is one, IRC. They'll have an IRC group. They'll even have
Discord.
a Minecraft server. Possibly even Discord. Yeah, they'll be finding all different kinds of ways to communicate with each other, and us as amateurs, of course, is a great opportunity for us to involve youth in the and getting them on the air and on the bands and talking and using all the different technologies that we have. All the way from HF to D-Star to DMR to Echolink to just about everything that's out there that you can possibly communicate with other groups with.
That's fantastic. And how many, roughly, I don't think you probably have a real number, but how many kiddos do you think get involved in this every year on this weekend?
They average about 2 million scouts from around the world.
Wow.
This is a travel-free jamboree, so this is an opportunity for international communication that they could possibly get at a world jamboree that not all families can afford to send their families, their scouts to, or even our national jamboree. They might not be able to get to something on that kind of scale. So this is a really kind of a great program for people to get that international touch of what actually is going on.
I think that's more than what participates in Field Day. That's I'm floored right now. Okay, so you also have some sponsors, which we can't thank enough, to maybe ICOM, who gets involved in this every year and make sure that you have the equipment that you need to get these kiddos on the air.
Yeah, ICOM's a great sponsor. They've been doing our Scout Loaner program for the ICOM station loaners. And we have 10 stations that are loaned out throughout the year for various Scout activations with ham radio operators. They're great little kits with an IC 7300, a power supply, an antenna, a speaker, a microphone, just about everything you need to have a successful operation. And we actually use these kits just at the National Jamboree this summer. So we kind of, broke at least 6 of them in for for Jamboree on the Air pretty well during our operation. So
and then where are you guys going to be spotted? Are you going to self-spot? Because I see things like K2BSA stroke 0, stroke 5, those kind of things. So you're going to have that call sign in lots of different regional areas. Is that correct? And
Right.
Okay.
So K2BSA is just an amateur radio club. We allow stations to request to use our call sign for their activation, but there will be many call signs from all over the U.S. On this event. It's not an event that we actually run or anything else. We just help promote it and give people tools to make their event successful. We have monthly nets that we talk with scouters from all over the U.S. and around the world, discussing how to best have a successful event and how they can grow their international radio chairs and stuff like that within their own councils and districts and stuff like that.
And there's some other BSAs out there that end in BSA that if you notice those on your spotting, everybody go work them. I've been asked, several times to say, can you listen for us on 14320 or something and say hello to these kiddos that are working for their badge. So for those of you that are going to work some of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts out there, make sure that you have appropriate questions because they have to talk for, what is it, Bill, 5 minutes or so on the radio to earn their badge?
It's plus or minus depending upon which actual achievement they're trying to go through.
Okay.
So if they're trying to get their radio merit badge complete, they have to have a total of, I believe, 10 minutes of contacts. It can't be multiple contacts in sequence. It can be a single contact. It could be a simulated contact, all to complete the radio merit badge. But, Jamboree on the Air is more about just, fostering communication and getting people on the air. Kind of think of a demo station as probably the very practical application of doing an operation for Jamboree on the Air is just having the equipment there, getting the operators on with them, getting them sitting in the seats and talking on the microphone and talking with other people.
So
William, we're going to have a station at Pacificon just for Scouts. So
that's great.
Listen for us.
Awesome. That's great.
Some tips out there, everybody. If you're going to work some of these folks and be sure, always ask them their name, always ask them their age, ask them what their favorite subject is in school, what they like to do in their pastimes, make it easy questions for them and make them feel at ease on the microphone. So, or even the weather, but probably try not to intimidate them about what setup they're using or what radio, things like that, because they might not know because they were probably just thrown into a microphone. So just make it easy for them. Bill, would you not agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have all kinds of operator guides that help give scouts little scripts to kind of break the ice, and they start asking the questions and stuff like that. And we try to get them to talk and have a little bit more than a one word answer, because a lot of them be like yes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
ask them what their favorite video game is.
Yeah, a lot of questions we hear at the jamborees and stuff are like, what's your experience like? What's the weather like? Are you having fun? What do you think about this radio that you're talking into? What do you think about the hobby? Responses like that kind of just drive towards the hobby and stuff like that, because that's really the part we're trying to shine in the Jamboree on the Air is really show how the communications work. You disconnect all the infrastructure and we can still talk for a long way.
Well, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Bill, for being here tonight. I'm going to say one more thing. And my good friend Jocelyn had reached out wondering about my dad. And I said, well, I was just thinking about you because we're going to be talking about JOTA tonight. And he said, oh, great. Well, we're going to have the Eclipse going on Saturday. The VOA Museum will let any scouts or leaders in uniform enter for free. And the shack is ready for the scouts for JOTA. And he said, I'll try to make a few QSOs, but he has other obligations during that weekend. But the Voice of America Museum is open for business and all Boy Scouts are welcome there. So if you're in the Cincinnati area, make sure you join in. So Bill, thank you so much. Any last words?
No, just get out there and get on the radio and help out. I mean, you'll mostly hear the stations on HF up in the upper general portions of the band, trying to stay away from all the contesters and stuff like that. So you might hear, a lot of inexperienced operators get involved with doing these things. So you might hear them all trying to work that magic 14290 that they think is a calling frequency.
That's a great one. Yeah.
And help them. help them kind of move off the frequency. Say, hey, yeah, there's a clearer
Go up
spot
or
like
down.
5 kc up. Let's just let's spin up the dial. And
everybody, feel free to send me an email personally, k1ddn@adalrl.net, and I would be happy to join on the air to say hello to anybody on 20 or 40. So those are my best bands to work anyone across the United States. So
and Amanda,
yeah,
I want to say real quick, Bill Stearns has been providing reports on JOTA and Jamboree on the Internet for Newsline for years.
Really?
And yeah.
I had no idea.
Absolutely. So, Bill, it's good to have you back on the show here, and we look forward to hearing you back on Newsline here real soon.
Yeah, I'll definitely get a report out this weekend for you.
I know you will. I know you will. And Bill's call is NE4RD, by the way.
NE4 nerd. Okay.
Nerd. Exactly.
Do you know that he's gorgeous in his Boy Scouts uniform though? You look great. Fantastic.
He's a handsome man. I wouldn't say gorgeous, but he is a handsome man. There you go.
He's no Ken, but we'll give him close to it.
We
Okay.
Appreciate you, Bill. Thanks.
Bill, come back any day. Thanks for being here with us. So now we're going to go to the ICOM commercial and hopefully also call up Nathaniel, and we're going to talk about eclipses here later on the show.
Let's see if I can do it.
Keep your competitive contesting edge with ICOM. ICOM's high-power base stations cut through pileups, letting you work the bands and record those contacts. Contest from the comfort of your home or remotely with the RSBA1 app. Heard it, worked it, logged it. The IC7851 gives you a new window into the RF world and is HF excellence unparalleled. With faster processors, higher input gain, higher display resolution, and a cleaner signal, it's truly the pinnacle of HF perfection. Dual receivers, digital IF filters, memory keyer, digital voice recorder, high-resolution Spectrum waterfall display, enhanced PC connectivity, and SD memory card slot. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR can pick out faint signals in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. The ICOM IC7610 is a direct sampling, software-defined radio that has changed the world's definition of an SDR. RF direct sampling system, 110 dB RMDR, independent dual receivers, and dual digicell. ICOM's IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages, reducing the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. This is a radio that changed the way entry-level HF is designed. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. The real HF fun starts here. For more information about ICOM's amateur offerings, visit icomamerica.com/lineup/amateur.
And I want to give a big thank you to ICOM. And it didn't do it. I wanted that cool animation. Look at there. That's awesome. Look at our new website. And if you go click on that Enter Now button, link is in the description, you can enter to win our amazing giveaway that's funded by ICOM, sponsors the show. Thank you so much for doing that. But you can get yourself one of 3 swag packs. And those swag packs have things like hats, T-shirts, stickers, all kinds of different things. And then at the end of the month, we take all the winners that have won one of those swag packs over the course of the whole year, and they pick somebody to win a radio. So first and foremost, the winners of the swag packs for this show, every time we go live, we pick 3, is Ray FK6NOV, Michael SK5MAS, and Ashton S KK7HRN. So make sure you tune in at the end of the month for the next episode, because we will pick a winner. And let's see, what is that winner going to get for October? A 2730, one of my favorite little mobile radios for actually doing satellite and ISS work, because it's full duplex. So thank you very much, ICOM. Now, I must say 2 things. One, I will be running a Jamboree on the Air station at Boo Fest in Brea, California. So if you're attending the Boo Fest in Brea, California.
Is that like Boo, like ghouly?
Yeah,
Boo?
it's a Halloween thing for Cub Scouts, but it turns out that
Nice.
I'm going there, so I'm setting up the whole shebang. So I'll be running.
That's a good dad.
Jamboree's on the air. Actually, a couple of the Scoutmasters like, we got to set up. We need a big ham radio station for all this. And I'm like, all right, I can do that. So I'll be running that. And then the other thing is, I wasn't able to get Nathaniel. I can't get Nathaniel. Amanda, I don't know what you want to do, but I know what we can do, at least until we figure that out. We can go say hi to Dawn.
We can put him on. No, that's not going to work. Never mind. Hi, Dawn. Take it away.
So down here we have Boo Fest around St. Patrick's Day, because down here your boo that's your boo. You know what I mean?
Oh, duh.
Different
It is.
kind
That's
of
true.
Boo Fest.
Yeah, the whole different kind of boo. Yeah, whole different kind of Boo Fest. And while you ponder that, let's roll that beautiful Amateur Radio Newsline beam footage. From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2397, this is Ham Nation Headlines for Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. Ham radio operators will be at the Pentagon and other military sites around the United States next month to mark the 75th anniversary of a program in which hams support our national defense.
The Air Force Military Auxiliary Radio System is marking its 75th anniversary of service to the U.S. military with a special event on all HF bands using all modes during the first week of November. Stations in each of the system's 10 wings will be calling CQ, as will the Mars station located at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., using the call K4AF. The event begins on November 5th and ends on November 11th, which is observed as Veterans Day in the United States. Mars radio operators are volunteer members of a civilian auxiliary providing communication assistance for the U.S. military when needed. The organization was created in 1948. There are Mars volunteers serving the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Army. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
If you use DMR, D-Star, or any other digital mode, better days are ahead. A software upgrade is in the works for the system that supports many of these modes.
The multi-mode digital voice modem project, which supports most of digital voice modes used by amateur radio, is about to get a software upgrade through the efforts of Jonathan Naylor, G4KLX, and with funding from Amateur Radio Digital Communications. The open source project supports D-Star, Yaesu System Fusion, NXDN, and more than 80% of the hotspots and repeaters on the Brandmeister DMR network. Jonathan, who is a developer of digital voice software, has been hired full-time to tackle a variety of issues, including bug mitigation, the creation of portable user interface on additional hardware platforms, and adding support for such industry standards as message queuing telemetry transport. According to a press release from ARDC, work has already begun in the development of packet modes for 9600, 19200, and 38400, supporting narrow bandwidth using a modulation similar to DMR. The open source project itself began in 2015. This is Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Finally, this week we ride along on one family's holiday trip to the islands. The islands, in this case, include some remote locations in the Outer Hebrides off Scotland. The family includes 2 amateur radio operators. One of them is a seasoned SOTA operator looking to activate 10 summits for the first time ever.
It took Ben Lloyd a lot of kayaking across the sea, finding a ride on a local fisherman's boat, battling strong winds and doing a whole lot of hiking through bogs before he could achieve some personal firsts. Ben, GW4BML, Martha and 2-year-old Lyra had set off on their holiday on the 23rd of September with their camper van. Ben's goal for the family's 12-day trip to the Scottish Highlands was to activate 10 summits that had never been activated before. In doing so, Ben was also achieving a personal first. Ben is also a board director for the Radio Society of Great Britain, and so it was fitting that his first contact made on Seaforth Island was with the RSGB president John McCulloch, GI4BWM. John was 200 miles away in County Antrim in Northern Ireland and was using the president's call sign GB4RS. Each gave the other a 5-9 during the 40-metre contact, and John also gave a thumbs up to Ben's invitation to join him on his next SOTA challenge. The two will be activating summits together next year when he visits. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Jack Parker, W8ISH, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now here's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov, WX6SWW.
A finger-like coronal hole rotates in through the Earth's strike zone, sending us some fast solar wind. And some big flare players leave, while some new ones enter. Those stories and more in the news this week. Space weather this week continues to be a bit on the mild side. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, most of the activity has been from region 34, 51, and 52. However, these regions have been rotating to the sun's far side, so we're not going to be seeing much more in terms of radio blackouts due to them. However, we do have a coronal hole that is going to be rotating into the Earth strike zone here in the next 24 hours or so. It could give us some fast solar wind that could bump us up to storm levels and give us possibly some aurora at high latitudes, probably not too much down at mid latitudes. We're probably going to see unsettled to active conditions there, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. But this is enough to be able to give us a little bit of a nice show at high latitudes for a little while. On top of that, we have region 3460. This region is beginning to really show some level of growth and is beginning to fire off some big solar flares. So we could be seeing R1 to R2 level radio blackouts pick up from that one. Also, region 3462 is one to watch. We're going to be keeping close eye on that one because that one is also growing quite rapidly. Now, we also have a couple other filaments on the disk, but thus far, those regions have been pretty quiet. Now, switching to our heliospheric magnetic imager, you can see the regions here that we've been watching. 34, 51, and 52 have been pretty complex, but again, they're rotating to the sun's far side. On top of that, region 3460, you definitely see some magnetic complexity in that region, so we're keeping our eyes on it. And if you go beyond 3462 and look at the east limb, you really see a lot of activity growing and some definite chances for big solar flares from these far-sighted regions that will be rotating into Earth view over the next probably 3 to 4 days. So we'll be taking care of that. Now, switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week. At high latitudes, we are anticipating that fast solar wind from that coronal hole that's rotating in through the Earth strike zone. At high latitudes, NOAA is expecting active conditions with up to about a 50% chance of a major storm. And this is easily going to continue throughout the 13th and start calming down on the 14th when we get to about mostly calm, if not calm conditions. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you definitely could get a show over these couple days before things settle down as we move into next week. Now, as we switch to our mid-latitude aurora possibilities, we are still expecting active conditions from that fast solar wind, but we're only expecting about 15% chance of minor storm conditions, and this will last through about the 13th before things really begin to calm down. We are expecting things will calm down quite quickly, so aurora photographers, if you're at mid-latitudes, well, you can get a skosh of a chance around the 12th, but expect that things will be much more fleeting than they are at high latitudes. So only if you're dedicated should you chase. Now, switching into your solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we are sitting at about 164 solar flux right now. NOAA is anticipating that that's going to dip just a little bit as region 34, 51, and 52 leave the Earth-facing disk, but expect because those new regions are going to be rotating into Earth view over the next couple days, we will begin to see that solar flux rise again. This means we're going to remain in good conditions for amateur radio propagation on Earth's day side. However, we are sitting at the moderate noise level. We will drop down to the minor noise level over the 13th and 14th, but likely still continue in and around moderate noise level, especially as we move into the early next week. And again, that's because we do have some growth in some of these new regions. NOAA is giving us about a 35% chance of M-class flares. That's at the R1 to R2 level radio blackout, and even about a 5% chance of an R3 level radio blackout over the next day or so. We'll dip down a little bit, but then that chance once again will rise. So amateur radio operators and emergency responders expect to have, the moderate chance of R1 to R2 level radio blackouts and, a bit of noise on the bands, but overall conditions should be pretty good. Now, as we switch to our radiation storm and polar aviation outlook over the coming week, everything is in the green. We are sitting at the D1 normal range. This is for you aviators at flight level 360. This is also the S0 quiet range, which means for everyone else that we don't have much of a risk at all for big radiation storms. In fact, NOAA's only giving us about a 5% chance of risk over the next 3 days, and I'm extending that through the 5-day. Really don't see any reason why we should be worried about having radiation storms. So if you are a frequent flyer, and this includes high-risk passengers or prenatal passengers or even aircrew, you're all in the clear, and it looks like things are going to be smooth sailing throughout the week. For more details on this week's space weather, please check out my channel or see me at spaceweatherwoman.com.
There you go. There's the solar update from Dr. Tamitha Skov. Great transitions, Dr. T. She has some new software she's playing with to make her reports look even better, and of course the same great content. Follow her on X. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. Follow her on X at Tamitha Skov. That's the old Twitter for us old fuddy-duddies.
Old farts.
Well, that too. And it's Tamitha Skov on YouTube, and of course spaceweatherwoman.com. And there you go. That is pretty much all that I have for this week. And Josh, I guess it's back over to you, huh?
It's me.
Well, okay,
it's all
then
me.
it's you. It's the birthday girl.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you.
You too, honey.
You've been
Thank
gone
you.
too long. Been missing you, baby.
No,
Missing you bad.
I leave for 2 months and all hell is broken loose, evidently. Josh no longer knows how to deal with 3 visitors.
Clearly, I'm out of my depth on this one.
We clearly need adult supervision, but where are we going to find an adult to deal
Do you
with?
know how bad I messed with him today?
We ran Heil off. He's an adult.
So...
Which, by the way, we just had Bob Heil's birthday this week, too.
I know. We're all Libras,
know.
which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I think Val's a Libra, too. So
Taking over
Josh
the
is
world.
like in a panic, and he's like, we don't have much content for this week. And I'm like, hold my beer. I'll take this. I got it.
Yeah.
And you did.
So we're going to go, what, till 9:30 tonight?
What did I do?
Maybe 10?
Maybe.
Pull an all-nighter?
I'm like, well, there's so much actual content for this week and upcoming weeks that there's a lot of things that we need to tackle. And thankfully, everybody came through. So we got JOTA out of the way. We got Swains Island out of the way. And now we're going to tackle a solar eclipse. So this is
cool.
pretty cool. I'm really excited about this. And the last solar eclipse, by the way, Heil, they had a party. Like they had an eclipse party at their factory, and they were all out there like with their glasses and all that good stuff. So
The last eclipse. You know what I did the last eclipse? I was working
What?
at the radio station in New Orleans, and I didn't have anything to like filter out the sun or anything with. So I happened to have one of my QSL cards, and I took and I put a pinhole in it, and I went and I projected it through the pinhole onto the wall.
we
out in front of
seriously did
radio
the
station.
paper plate thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I used my QSL card because I had one.
And Amanda, Bob called just a little while ago saying, hello to all. He's doing better and better.
Yes, he is.
Fantastic.
Yes, he is.
Him and my dad.
Happy
both.
birthday, Bob.
I'm so excited, and I texted him on his birthday, and I was like, "Love you, Bob," and it's like, "Love you too," and he's doing really good, everybody. So, it's a good month.
It's
Okay,
a good week.
Anyhow, we have Nathaniel joining us. Whiskey 2 November Alpha Foxtrot, and he's been waiting in the wings all night long. So, Nathaniel, thanks for joining us today. And we're going to talk about what hamsci.org is doing for the solar eclipse coming up on the 14th. So what do you got to say?
I'm definitely trying to pull
Hey,
him
Amanda,
up right
how
now.
are you?
Good. We don't see your video.
There he is.
Oh, there you
There
are.
we are.
Yeah, he just
Oh my
popped in.
gosh, he is
The
actually
internet
in an
lag. We
eclipse.
made it. Okay.
Okay.
Pretty much. We actually have a power outage here.
Oh,
that
boy.
explains the
I
ambiance of the
thought
darkness.
you
Yeah.
here
Yes.
coming in over
I
a cell
seriously
phone.
thought you were going like Halloween theme all the way.
Hamnation
No,
Noir tonight.
We got home tonight and we're like, why isn't the garage door opening? And we're like, oh boy, it's gonna be one of those nights.
Apparently, nothing is going right tonight for anyone.
You got to get out and remember how to open it now.
Throw it all out. It's fine. It's fine. Nathan, thanks for joining us tonight. So you have a great insight about what you're doing this weekend for October 14th. Give us some times, what we should be doing, and how we can help in amateur radio style.
Great. So we're having a solar eclipse QSO party. And so I think most people here probably know, but I'll just say it one more time. Solar eclipses can affect our radio propagation because the shadow of the moon causes temporary night-like conditions, which of course causes the ionosphere to stop ionizing and recombine. And
kind of like your background right now.
Yeah. So so the eclipse, we're doing HamSci is organizing a number of things for the eclipse. The best known is probably the Eclipse QSO party, which if you go to hamsci.org/eclipse, you can read all about. The QSO party is going to be 10 hours long, and it is going to start at 12 UTC, and it's going to go to 2200 UTC.
Okay.
And if you're on that page, you just click that banner right on top there that says the big eclipse banner, the blue one. Click that. There you go.
All
If
right.
you scroll down a little bit there, you can see where it says Solar Eclipse QSO Party. You can choose SEQP rules.
And I apologize for the absolutely unflattering pause that it did on your Skype. I don't understand what that's about. But we hear you fine. It's the most important thing.
He
You
looks
might
like
be.
he's on the Blair Witch
I know,
Project.
yeah. It's like his last known photo where we've caught on here. Sorry about that.
Oh my.
Nathan, I'm gonna actually take a screenshot of this because you're gonna love it later. You can show
can
your
see
friends.
it. I see it right here. It's in the little window.
At least he's cool, right?
I hope so. Sorry. This is the
Frizzell
first
looks
time he's on the
frazzled.
show, and we're not doing a great job for Nathaniel right now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Frizzell
gosh, you're
looks
doing
frazzled.
fine. It's absolutely fine.
I'm gonna blame your power outage for some reason. I feel like that's the ultimate problem.
I think that's very fair. Yeah. No, I thank you for having me. Yeah, I can see. It looks like you're still on the Eclipse page, but anyway, if you can find the Solar Eclipse QSO Party rules. It says like SEQP rules there, and then
where
you get all
exactly is it down
rules.
towards the bottom here, or where am I looking?
It's towards the top. It should say Solar Eclipse QSO Party.
Oh, am I on the wrong page? Okay, hold on. Sorry.
Oh, no, okay. Actually, click there.
Yeah. Oh, on the big blue one. Okay.
Yeah, and then click.
I like
click
that graphic, by the way.
You click down on contest info page.
Did I?
Maybe we have to work on the navigation on our website.
Oh, there he is.
And you're back. You're back live.
Yeah.
I'm back live.
Yeah.
Contest journal, I see. Is that?
No. Let's see. Try. Just go to hamsci.org.
Contest info page? That's it.
rules.
Right here, contest info page. Is
Yeah,
that what you're looking for?
contest page. Yeah.
Okay.
And then hit.
Got it.
SEP rules. There you go.
And then hit the rules.
Yeah. And it should be. Is that working?
SEQP rules. Yep. I'm just availing myself of the control find here.
So I never gave him any of these advanced links, Nathaniel. So it's kind of my fault.
Oh
but-
my gosh. Really, it's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
So
no. We're gonna
there
go
you
over this and
found it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's the SEQP rules, and These are maybe for Saturday. I'll put a nice quick link on the front page of the website, so it's a lot easier to find. Yeah, it's basically a ham radio contest, very similar to any other ham radio contest. It goes for 10 hours on Saturday. You can use any band, any of the contest bands, 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, or 10, any mode you want. And we have an exchange.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Your audio just cut out.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
So, okay. Yes, so you're going to give the exchange. You're going to give the call sign, the signal report, and the grid square. Okay. And yeah, so it's very much like any other contest. And if you use N1MM, you can. There's an SEQP logging module, and then you can submit your logs up to the link. There's going to be a link that is on here, which should show up tomorrow or the day after, under log score and submission. It's going to go through Bruce Horn's website. We're just finishing up the details on getting that working, and you can submit your logs, and we will score them. And we're also going to look at them, analyze them, and also analyze the data that comes from the Reverse Speaking Network and PSK Reporter and WhisperNet to see effects of the solar eclipse.
Great, Nathaniel.
That's
so I have
great.
to ask, who came up with this? Was it like a group of you, a club? What's going on here?
Yeah, so we did it the first time back in 2017. And I was a grad student at Virginia Tech at the time, and I was working at the Space at Virginia Tech research group. And I met another student, Magda Moses, KM4EGE, and she was studying the eclipse ionospheric effects using other radio techniques. And I said, I bet we can use ham radio for this too. And so then I worked with her and with Ward Silver and myself, and we all came up with the Solar Eclipse QSO party.
It's really cool. So what kind of awards are there? Or is it just kind of bragging rights?
Yeah, we have mostly bragging rights like any other contest. So we'll have certificates. Everyone who submits a log, they're going to get a participation certificate. And then we'll do first, second, third place in both single operator and multi-operator categories. And we have the certificates are very nicely designed this year. They're very similar in design to the banner you saw right at the top of the website, that nice Art Deco design. So it should be very nice.
Great. Well, is there anything else you want our viewers to know about this for joining in? Or
yeah, there's a couple of things. First of all, whether or not you participate in this solar eclipse QSO contest or you just get on the radio at all this weekend, that will be a big help. So we're going to pull in all the data from PSK Reporter and Reverse Speaking Network and WhisperNet. So if you're operating CW, if you are operating FT8, if you're operating any of those things this Saturday, that will help in the effort. So that's thing number one. And thing number two is, we did do this in 2017 and we got the results published. So you can find on this page, there's actually plots of what the Reverse Speaking Network data looked like during the 2017 eclipse. And you can see it broken down by band. You can see the 20 meter band, the 40, 80, and 160 meter band. Let's see if I...
Which one? I know I see Eclipse Archive from 2017. What link would it be on here?
Yeah, it should be... let's see here. The 2017 SEQP results.
Great.
Yeah, it's right there.
And I'm seeing some questions about... That is great.
Yeah. Wow. So that figure right there, that's the summary of what the Reverse Speaking Network CW data looked like from the 2017 eclipse. So you can see how the 20 meter band shut down during the eclipse. 40 meters went long, just like you expected to, and then 80 and 160, they opened up because the D region absorption went away.
That's great.
That's cool.
So I like that data. That's really interesting, and hopefully that's what you're trying to gain again this year.
That sure is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I had set up my Whisper to band hop that whole day while I was at work.
really,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I may do that again. Yeah, because I got to work Saturday. I may do that again.
is there anything
Yeah,
else, Nathaniel, that people can do at home to help with this data and maybe some of your theories?
Yeah, so if you just go to hamsci.org, you can click the blue Join Hamsci button.
Okay.
You can go to hamsci.org/eclipse, and we have a lot of different experiments. So some of them are things that you can, little receivers you can build yourself. Some of them involve.
It's a little short
know,
time, but hopefully
it is-
people can
well,
do it.
But the good news is there's another eclipse in April.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
Oh, there you go.
April 8th, 2024, there's going to be a total solar eclipse. So really, and this is the annular eclipse on Saturday. So this is kind of the warm up. This is a dress rehearsal. So your viewers, you can go to the website. You can join if you see something that's interesting, and you can't get it together for this Saturday. You still have time to participate in some of these other things for the April eclipse.
Well, we'll have to have you back to give us some of the numbers that you crunch from this.
Great.
To tell us how it ends up, and then it will get more people involved for April. But I appreciate that. So, okay, anything else?
I think
you want
that's
us to
it.
know? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Yeah,
Thank
listen
you.
for sixes on 160 meters, okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Gordo,
Appreciate
do you do 160?
Yeah, I do 160. Yep.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, we
All
need
right.
more people on 160. We don't have very many spots down there. So
It's
yeah,
it's Valerie.
It's a hard band.
We need
Yeah,
Valerie.
yeah.
We need Valerie.
Sorry,
But I
Valerie.
remote into Illinois from Florida, so.
I got a question
Yeah.
for Nathaniel really quick before you head out, Nathaniel. How important would it be to just, like Dawn did, just have a receiver, a decent receiver connected to Whisper? Does that help a lot for your results?
Yes, absolutely. It helps a lot. In fact, we have a whole other category experiment we're calling the Gladstone Signal Spotting Challenge, where we're going to go through like the WhisperNet logs and things like that and see which call signs made the most spots. And we'll send you the
There you go.
Oh,
Great.
that's cool.
Yeah, I had
well,
mine set up
actually-
to just
actually
transmit
those-
randomly. Yeah.
Yeah, those spots like the WhisperNet, the PSK reporter spots.
Yeah.
That's going to be the main data set that we're looking at for this.
And which band again should people most likely focus on, or does it matter?
Great
It
question.
does. I want to see all of the bands. I really
Okay.
like seeing these types of plots where you can look at all of the different bands. So I hope people try everything.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
So give them your info, give them your data, and they'll take it. So, Nathaniel, thank you so much
Nathaniel.
for joining us
Good stuff.
on very, very short notice, by
yes,
the way.
and thanks
And a
for
power
bearing
outage.
with us as we got you on.
That's,
but
Jocelyn's
we'll have you
fault.
back. I promise we'll
Yeah,
have you back
yeah,
to tell
we're
us the
gonna have you
results. We're
back.
very excited about
That's
this.
great stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Amanda, you gonna wrap us up with the nets? What do we got
I'm gonna-
left to do? Or do you
Lord,
want
I
to?
don't even know. Hold on.
I had to write some of this down because Amanda, believe it or not, had a lot of this just in her head, and I had to ping her for a lot of this stuff. She had been doing this for
It's
so
true.
long that she just remembered all of this, right?
Like, I'm just good like
You're
that.
just that good. You're just that good. Not me. I got to write things down because I'm not that good.
And I remembered that Val was coming on, and I didn't
You
think
did
that Val
remember
was
that too.
actually going to be
Yep.
on. And
Yep.
then we got Swains Island, and this is DXEpedition time, you guys. Val can swear on that. We're going to have the DX contest coming up, so that's where you can get your DXCC basically in one weekend, especially if prop is going to stay as good as it is right now.
Yeah.
I hope so. I need 10 to open up so I can get that 5-band DXCC.
10's been good though. 10 has been really good. I've been killing it.
It's been
on
really
10.
good, right?
Yeah.
It takes pressure off the other bands. They're not as crowded.
Yeah.
That's too. So otherwise, it's just
Yep.
brutal trying to find a spot.
You listen on 20 and you're just like, my ears are bleeding. It's like field day.
Yeah.
Okay, what
'Cause
else?
they
What do we got?
overlap too much. Yeah. I'll let
Thank
you.
you. Well, Val and Jerry, thank you so much for joining us tonight, by the way, and get Jerry out there on the course and get some links under him. Come on, Jerry. Show us those perfect tan legs.
Well, he's heading back home because he wants to be home for the good contest. So he's flying home after my birthday because I'm also.
That's commitment, man. That's commitment. Gotta cut the vacation short. I gotta get back to the contest. The good contest, as Valerie said. That's
funny.
right. I love it.
That's hilarious.
I think as far as a show goes, let me just say this really fast. Did you wait? You got to do the contest or the?
Well, I'll listen to you first.
Okay. We got your next 2 weekends covered, guys, in one show.
Yeah.
If you watch this, you got an Eclipse, you got homework, right? You got the Eclipse, you got Swains. You better be making some contacts with them. No excuse not to after we showed you. And links will be in the description for all this, right? You got the Eclipse, you're doing science, then you're adding to your logs some good DX, and then next weekend you're going to be doing some good stuff for some young people on Jamborees on the Air. Could not have taken
and Pacificon because we have scouts up at Pacificon.
Yep. Pacificon as well, where it's a learning lesson with all the forums. And then in 2 weeks, Johnny number 5 is alive. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's all we got to say. Another fun one. But we got you covered for the next 2 weeks of ham radio and then 10 meters. Get on 10 meters.
Yeah,
so, okay,
totally.
Amanda, go ahead. Take it away.
Okay. Oh, what do we have? I can't read that far away. Oh, KC7 FPF is going to be on 7192 or thereabouts. And then we have K7 UDI on 20 meters for now on 14268 there or thereabouts. And then we have D-Star 14 Charlie. So get on the air. And thank you to our net controls. And thanks to everybody for having me back. And I love you.
Great.
We
love
missed you.
Happy birthday.
We're glad you're back.
Can I mention one more thing I wanted to bring up too?
Yes,
We had a young kid episode. If you go to
That's what I call it when my kids have
youthontheair.org.
temper tantrums. Young kid
Oh,
episode.
gosh, Val.
Young kid episode.
Oh, that's okay. If you go to youthontheair.org, all of you young guys out there, you scouts, everything, the Intrepid DX, let me pull it up. Intrepid DX is having their annual, 4th annual.
Josh, it's on our doc.
essay contest.
I got it.
Yeah, youthontheair.org if you want to bring it up. And then you can go down and you can see the Dream Big. You have until November 30th to submit your essay, and you could win a huge ham radio rig. So some cool prizes. So for you kids out there not kids, 15 to 25.
I mean, this is a great giveaway, by the way. And you don't have to work too hard to get it or to be qualified to get it. So I like it.
Look at what they're getting, guys. 7300,
I know.
a 5100, and an ID 52. That's
I'll take them.
smashing prize.
Second and third place.
I mean, but that's the prize packages for everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
like
a lot of prizes there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And do you have to be? You do have to be ham though to do it, right?
So
I think so. I'm sure that you have to be.
19 and
No, it
younger.
says involved.
I'm looking.
Doesn't say so. It just says involved in ham radio. Maybe
Well-
there's a
Same thing.
Yeah.
Studying for your license would be involved, wouldn't it?
Ham Nation is not providing legal advice on contest entries. Please consult the website for more information.
That's right. Exactly.
For
Your mileage may
entertainment
vary.
purposes only.
That's right. Do not use us
Right.
as a defense in your lawsuit.
For infotainment.
Void or prohibited by law.
Don't
This
go unalive
one-time
yourself.
offer only.
That's right.
That's my
I've
favorite.
got so many disclaimers.
Ask me how I know about
Running
all
through
these
my head now.
disclaimers. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Good?
we're done.
We're good? Done? All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. We had a lot of fun here tonight. Big
Thank
show.
you, Val, so much.
Let us know what you think in the comments. We'd love to hear back from you. And until we
Absolutely.
talk to you in 2 weeks,
Yep.
73.
Good night, everyone. Happy birthday, Bob. Happy birthday, Amanda.
That's right.
And the
Happy
next
birthday.
show will probably be 5 minutes. We'll have
Good
no
job.
content.
Good job,
I pointed
Amanda.
the wrong way.
You did it.